Some people still hold on to the belief that real estate is something reserved only for the wealthy. They see ownership as distant, almost impossible. But that's a mindset formed by limitation, not by truth. Today, opportunities are more accessible than ever. There are rural plots being sold at prices that are within reach. You don't have to be a millionaire to start, you just need awareness. Real estate investment isn't only about money. It's about seeing value where others don't. It's about timing, vision, and strategic action. It's about planting now to harvest later. There are also real estate funds. Urban lands in early stages of development. Old homes waiting to be restored and filled with life. And collaborative projects where faith meets partnership. This isn't about how fat your bank account is. It's about how bold your vision can become. It's about asking, what could this be in 10 years? There's a story, simple yet powerful. A man from Colombia, a bricklayer by trade, started buying land far from the cities. No loans, no lavish lifestyle, just faith and persistence. Year after year, plot by plot, he built quietly. After 10 years, he owned 5 plots. And those plots? They had tripled in value. His strategy wasn't flashy, it was spiritual. His tools were not just hands and bricks, but prayer, discipline, and faith. He knew that what is sown in the soil can produce legacy. Because when you invest in land, you're not just buying dirt. You're claiming ground for generations to come. God doesn't want you to simply rent space in the world. He wants you to take possession. He wants you to walk in authority. There is a spiritual dimension to ownership. Renting is temporary. Owning is a prophetic statement. It says, this place belongs to God's kingdom. This space will be filled with purpose and provision. Even Jesus was buried in a borrowed tomb. But Scripture promises that in the New Jerusalem, every soul will have its rightful place. Why? Because God is a God of territory, a God of inheritance, a God of permanence and divine establishment. Your land may be a physical property, or it may be symbolic. It might be a business, a calling, a mission. But either way, God wants you to take ground. Some people spend everything they earn trying to fill emotional voids. They chase pleasure, applause, appearance. But others, those with discernment, they buy space. They plant seeds that will nourish others. They acquire hectares that will one day support entire families. Wisdom doesn't ask how much. It asks how lasting. And land, real, productive land, never loses its value in God's economy. Owning land also opens doors for enterprise. You can farm, host retreats, rent properties, create healing spaces, support communities. It's not just about business. It's about multiplication with purpose. And where there is purpose, God provides. The land doesn't just give physical fruit. It produces legacy. And if you're thinking, this message isn't for me, stop right there. God didn't create you to stay small. You were made to expand. Maybe today you can't buy land. That's okay. But you can start preparing. You can pray. You can dream. You can plan. And you can sow. The land that changes your life might be just one step of faith away. If you're in a financial struggle or fighting through emotional storms, this message may have touched something deep inside. Leave your prayer in the comments. You're not walking through this alone. We're standing with you in faith and in intercession. And don't just leave a comment. Read one. Pray for someone else. Because when we intercede for others, heaven starts to move. What if I told you that what you already know could become a stream of provision? Your knowledge isn't random. Your experiences carry weight, meaning, and potential. Everyday people, not celebrities, not CEOs, are building impact by teaching what they live. They're not waiting to be experts. They're starting with what they have. From parenting skills to personal finance. From home cooking to woodwork and digital tools. Even values rooted in faith, people are teaching it all. Your personal story, your skills, your perspective, it's more valuable than you think. What you've walked through might be someone else's breakthrough. Jesus never built cathedrals. He didn't write books or sell seminars. But he taught. He walked. He shared living truth in the form of stories, metaphors, and deep spiritual wisdom. And that was enough to change the world. That was his legacy. Here's the truth. Real wealth isn't about how much you have in the bank. It's about how much you can multiply from what you already know. Knowledge becomes power when it's shared. You could record a simple class, write a short guide, offer mentorship to one person, host a small online group. Even teaching for free at first has incredible value. It creates impact. Knowledge doesn't run out. It doesn't expire. It doesn't require a warehouse or stock. It multiplies endlessly. It's a mine of spiritual gold, scalable, renewable, and deeply transformative. Take Maria, a mother of 3 from Peru. She started teaching baking classes with just her phone. At first, no one watched. No likes. No applause. But she didn't stop. She kept going. And now, thousands follow her. She runs a digital academy, and she's helping other women launch their own home businesses. Her secret weapon? She simply used what she knew since childhood. So many people underestimate their gifts. They look around and think there's already too much competition. But they forget, no one can teach like you. No one has lived your life. No one carries your story. Your story is not a coincidence. It's a message. It can heal. It can guide. It can set others free. Investing in education isn't just about consuming content. It's about stepping into expansion. It's preparing for the future you're praying for. It's stewarding your growth on purpose. It's standing up and saying, I refuse to stay where I am. I will grow so I can serve better. God blesses the one who prepares. Even secular books like Anti-Fragile by Nassim Taleb say that wisdom only grows in value over time. But the Bible said it first, long ago. Spiritual and practical wisdom is an eternal treasure, and whoever cultivates it will see fruit. Maybe you don't know where to begin. That's okay. Start by honoring what you know. Write it down. Teach someone. Share your story. Organize your thoughts. You might be one step away from turning your mind into a sustainable income stream. God didn't give you wisdom so you could hide it. He gave it to you so you could multiply it. If this message stirred your spirit, make a move of faith right now. Write in the comments, I declare that what I know will become a source of blessing. It's not just a phrase. It's a spiritual activation. So go ahead, activate your faith, and watch how God begins to open unexpected doors. What might look like a normal city scene to one person, to another, it's a prophetic symbol of financial movement. It's not just traffic, it's an economy in motion. Where there is movement, there is flow. Where there is flow, there is provision. Heaven responds to action. Since ancient times, transportation has played a vital role in trade, communication, and expansion. Civilizations rose and spread through mobility. And today, the principle remains unchanged. In modern times, transport is more than a need, it's a door. A door to provision, to impact, to purpose. Apps and platforms like Uber, Rappi, Bolt, Cabify. Even deliveries by bicycle or scooter. These tools have unlocked income streams that didn't exist before. What once was a financial burden, like owning a car, can now become a resource for blessing and business. The system tells you to buy a car to impress others. But God says, put to work what's already in your hands. There are people using their vehicles for purpose, delivering groceries, driving passengers, supporting their community, offering tours to bless their cities, even creating jobs for others. The key is not the car. It's the mindset behind it. Jesus and his disciples didn't have fancy rides. They walked. They sailed. They rode donkeys. But the kingdom never stood still. The kingdom of God was always on the move. Even today, God blesses what is in motion. Because faith without action is not faith at all. And gifts unused will eventually decay. So let me ask you, what's in your hands right now that could move? Peter had a boat. Elijah had a mantle. Paul had wisdom. They didn't need more. They used what they already had. Movement isn't always physical. Sometimes it's spiritual. Sometimes it's a simple yes to purpose. But every time you move in obedience, something shifts in the invisible realm. It's not about having the best vehicle. It's about having the right heart. Some people bought an old motorcycle. They turned it into a delivery tool. And now they run small companies with several employees. What changed? Not the resource, the faith behind it. Because God does not bless passivity. He blesses strategic diligence. He honors those who take initiative with what they have. Even if you don't own a car, you can still step into mobility. Cook and deliver meals. Create a logistics service. Coordinate school transportation. Help elderly people with errands. The issue isn't the lack of resources. It's the lack of vision. And vision comes through prayer and wisdom. Many are waiting for the perfect moment. But the perfect time is the moment you stop waiting. If you have health, time, energy, and purpose, you have everything you need to start. God multiplies what moves with intention. And movement doesn't just impact finances. It renews your mind. It protects you from stagnation. When you go out, you see new opportunities. When you serve, you hear the cries of others. When you walk with purpose, provision meets you on the way. So don't wait to have more. Start with what you already have. And if you want to receive more teachings like this, more in-depth, timely, and powerful insights, consider joining the members community of this channel. Inside, we share special trainings, practical tools, and strategies guided by kingdom wisdom. There are spiritual principles and kingdom truths that you won't always hear in public. Some things are whispered in quiet rooms, but when you find them, they change everything. When you support messages like this, you help them reach more hearts. Click join or the link in the description. Become part of a community of visionaries. People of faith who build not just businesses, but legacies. Uncontrolled debt. Proverbs 22 verse 7 is direct and sobering. The borrower is slave to the lender. In today's world, debt has become so normal that no one even questions it. It's marketed as freedom, but in truth, it often becomes a chain, an invisible shackle that tightens each month. Millions are stuck in a cycle of credit cards, interest rates, and endless payments. And the saddest part? They're not even spending out of necessity. They're spending out of anxiety, trying to impress, trying to fill emotional voids, trying to look successful from the outside. But behind the fancy things, there's fear, stress, and financial slavery. God didn't design us to live paycheck to paycheck. You weren't created just to survive. There are wise debts, like investing in education or launching a purposeful business. But even those must be guided by vision, not emotion. True wealth is not about acquiring more. It's about owing less and living in peace. Spiritual laziness and lack of discipline. Proverbs 6 verses 10 to 11 gives a strong warning. A little sleep, a little slumber, and poverty will surprise you. This isn't just about physical laziness. It's about spiritual passivity. So many carry powerful ideas in their hearts, but they never act. They have the vision, but not the discipline. They pray, but never step out. The kingdom doesn't advance through good intentions. It moves through diligence. God blesses those who rise early, those who plan their day, those who steward their time with purpose. It's not about doing a lot. It's about being faithful with what you've been given. Consistently, quietly, without applause. Too many wait for the big moment, but they ignore the small ones. They underestimate simple tasks. They neglect to clean their space, to deliver quality in daily things. But that's where excellence is forged. In the unseen, in the repetitive. Discipline is the bridge between vision and manifestation. Lack of purpose in business. James 4 verse 3 puts it bluntly. You ask and do not receive because you ask with wrong motives to spend it on your pleasures. Many businesses don't fail because of lack of skill. They fail because of a lack of purpose. They are driven by ego, by competition, by vanity. And God doesn't bless that. He doesn't multiply pride. He multiplies purpose. When your heart is misaligned, your project becomes polluted. Even the best idea, if fueled by selfish ambition, loses favor. So ask yourself, why do I want to prosper? What will I do with abundance? Who will I bless when breakthrough comes? If your why is pure, your how will be guided, and your when will align with divine timing. When your actions align with the kingdom, God stands behind you. You're not just building a business. You're fulfilling a mission from heaven. This is more than economics. It's spiritual obedience. Not sowing into the kingdom. Luke 6 verse 38 says it plainly. Give, and it will be given to you. But the truth is, many people want to receive without ever planting a seed. They absorb content. They collect wisdom. They even apply kingdom principles. But when it comes to honoring God with their resources, they go silent. And that silence closes the flow of spiritual provision. This isn't just about tithes or offerings. It's deeper than that. Sowing means giving, helping, supporting others, investing in lives, in causes, in kingdom expansion. Because when everything you receive stays with you, the blessing becomes stagnant. But when you release it, the heavens open. You want to reap in abundance? Then sow with revelation, not with fear, not with guilt, but with vision. God's economy doesn't work like the world's system. It's not based on accumulation. It's based on circulation. Whatever you sow in faith will return multiplied. Not always in the same form, but always in purpose. These aren't just ideas. They're eternal principles. What you've heard today is not financial theory. It's divine revelation. These strategies are not from the market. They're designed by the Creator Himself. So the question is not, do they work? The real question is, will you apply them? Maybe right now you feel limited, burdened by debt, lacking opportunity, afraid to even start. But let this truth anchor you. Prosperity doesn't begin with money. It begins with a decision to obey, to sow, to move in faith, to step out of the world's mindset and step into the kingdom system. Every business journey will face resistance, not just in numbers or logistics, but in the unseen. Because when you align with God's purpose, you become a target for opposition. But don't be afraid. You are not defenseless. You are not alone. Ephesians 6 tells us that we are in a spiritual battle. But we have armor. We have authority. We have the name that is above every name. There will be days of doubt, days of delay, seasons of silence. But storms do not cancel purpose. Winds do not erase promises. When waves hit hard, you don't abandon the boat. You anchor deeper. And your anchor is the Word. Your anchor is the vision God gave you in the quiet place. Business with purpose will be tested. But what is tested can also be trusted. So when attacks come, don't shrink back. Stand firm. Pray. Worship. Declare truth over your work. Because your company is not just a business. It's a kingdom outpost. A light in dark places. A solution in the midst of confusion. You are building more than profit. You're building legacy. You're shaping eternity with obedience. So don't retreat. Reinforce your altar. Fortify your faith. Keep showing up. Because in due time, you will reap. If you don't give up, you can recover lost money. You can rebuild broken relationships. But time once gone never comes back. Time is one of the most sacred resources God has given you. And how you use it reveals what you truly value. In the kingdom, time is a seed. Every hour you invest in learning, in serving, in building will bear fruit. But the enemy knows this too. That's why distraction is his favorite weapon. Not destruction. Distraction. Because if he can't ruin you, he'll keep you busy with what doesn't matter. Scrolling without purpose. Responding to every voice except God's. Trying to be everywhere, but going nowhere. But wisdom redeems the time. Wisdom knows what to say no to. Wisdom doesn't chase everything, It builds what matters most. Ephesians 5 verse 15 says, Be very careful, then, how you live it, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. You don't need more hours. You need more alignment. What if 1 hour in obedience is more fruitful than a week of busyness? What if waking up 30 minutes earlier becomes the tipping point of your business breakthrough? When you give your time to God, He gives purpose to your time. He makes the minutes matter. So from this moment forward, stop saying, "I don't have time." Start asking, "What is stealing my time?" Because focus is a form of faith. And where you place your time, you place your future. Your calendar is a mirror of your priorities. And the greatest businesses are built by people who steward time like treasure. If this message touched your heart, don't leave the same. Drop a prayer request in the comments. We'll stand with you. And if these truths spoke to your spirit, write this in faith. I declare that what I know will bless others. That simple phrase could unlock a new season. If you haven't yet, watch the Kingdom Business playlist. Your next steps, your strategy, your breakthrough might be there. Subscribe, activate notifications, and share this with someone who needs light. Click like if this word built your faith. Ask God for wisdom. Walk with purpose. And get ready, because He's about to move through your business. God bless you. And remember, this is just the beginning. There's still more to uncover.